the kind of power that can take somebody out and end their entire career if that person says something that they don't like. And in this case, it's not that I'm saying things that they don't like, it's that I'm refusing to allow my voice to be controlled. I want to be clear to you guys. I'm going to be honest with you because everybody's noticing it. Every single political commentator in America, every single one of them knows this, that if you do not step out and say things that are radically pro-Israel, or if you are too quiet on certain narratives and they want you to be radically pro-Israel, you can lose everything. That's the truth. That is a fact. I'm not feeling like I need to hide from that anymore or be afraid to say it, rather, is a better way to say it, because I've endured this for years. I'm just at the end of my rope. I have given so much rope here and I am just done with it. Every person that you are a fan of, they know this. Every person that you line up to go hear speak, they know this. Again, it's not even on the basis of what you say. It can sometimes be on the basis of what you don't say. That an entire mob will assemble. You'll write piece after piece after piece until you subjugate. If you don't subjugate, the bounty grows larger. So yes, there was a large bounty on my head for the crime of refusing to suddenly hate Muslims and to condone Muslims getting bombed following October 7th. Everybody can see that. Just how much I liked this guy. I just had a feel like, okay, I'll be honest. I have a Caribbean bias. My former producer made it very clear to me that I have a Caribbean bias because she'd pitch me stories or like say like Rihanna did this, and I'd be like, I'm not going to say anything bad about Rihanna, or like Nicki Minaj. And she's like, but I have a Caribbean bias. This guy's got.
All right, so a lot of you have been sending me this particular clip of Candace Owens talking about what she thinks happened on the It Ends With Us film set. I just want to remind you that this is all speculation, that in no way this is fact. She even calls this speculation. This is all just her perspective of what she thinks happened. She said she spoke to a source, but just have to remember that if you only speak to one source, and we know this as journalists, that particular source can have bias. That source she spoke to apparently said that Justin Baldoni is a nice guy, and really what happened on set is that Ryan Reynolds came on set, and that's when everything changed. Like, it's very irresponsible for her to put out this type of speculation, right? Speculating even what is happening inside their marriage when we don't even know if that's true or not. She's basically saying that this is all Ryan Reynolds' jealousy, and that is then leading to him abusing Blake Lively with his jealousy. I have to remind you that if you read Blake Lively's lawsuit, she said other people went to HR. I think that's very, very important. I'm not on either side here, but I think that's important because that tells me that it was most likely Sony who, not Blake Lively, but it was Sony that chose to sideline Wayfarer and Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath because there were problems on set and they did not trust their judgment.
Okay, so I have the displeasure of watching Candace Owens on Piers Morgan calling out Israel for committing a Holocaust. Not even genocide. She's calling it a Holocaust, despite the fact that there's actually more people living in Gaza today than there were on October 6th of 2023. But besides that point, here she is talking about how she is right, how she is able to use Israeli sources to back up her claim that Israel is committing war crimes and that Bibi Netanyahu deserves to be imprisoned. Now, here's part of the interview. Check it out.
We're way past that, so that's not even a question anymore. There had to have been a response, and you are correct that no matter what, the response would have been criticized. But now there are questions about whether or not, like I said, they allowed this attack to happen, and I think this corruption trial will tell us much more.
By the way, she's just reiterating on a point that she made before, that Israel knew and was in cahoots with Hamas to allow Hamas to cross over the border to Israel and to slaughter 1,200 people in order for Bibi to get out of his corruption charges. This is a claim that she made. She is insane. Let's continue.
My instincts are telling me yes, but to go back to your question about whether or not social media can color you the wrong way, for the first time ever, we were just able to see what was happening in Palestine. Before, we just had to rely on legacy media who has to...
Did you believe all you were seeing?
When I first saw it, I kind of wanted to wait. You know, I was trying to just sort through everything.
What they were talking about before is like, she said, well, I was reading legacy media and everything was fine. And all of a sudden she saw this social media post about all this crazy genocide and killing of children, of burning babies, and she's like, look what's going on here, look what's going on in Palestine. And now her mind shift has changed from being pro-Israel, as she says, into being anti-Israel and anti-Bibi because he's committing genocide. Now this is the response from Piers Morgan.
Everything. Because I'm still not sure the stuff I see as well.
Well,
it's very
some
hard
of it,
to...
well, but I'm now getting my information because I ended up signing up for Haaretz in Israeli newspapers because they're protesting it. They're calling this an ethnic
No, I read
cleansing.
that stuff all the time, yeah.
No. The social media is not just lies because we know this because I read Haaretz. It's a newspaper. It's a left-wing trash heap. I wouldn't even call it toilet paper. I wouldn't even wipe my butt with it. It is the most disgusting paper in the world because it has like zero market share in Israel. No one buys it here in Israel. Maybe like expats from England who live here, the press. Nobody buys it. Their business model is a syndicate. They take their articles and they send it off to the EU, to the UN, all these different people. And then they leverage this left-wing trash heap in order to make an argument against Israel, just like Candace Owens is doing. So this is really telling because it's like me using a San Francisco far left-wing newspaper and using these quotes and these articles to make policy like judgments on the United States. It's insane. Anyway, I'm not going to send a link to this. I don't want you even watching it. It's disgusting. If you want to search for it, go for it. It's all the power to you. But wow, she's a terrible person.
Be in the same position you're in, so I'm not even mad at you. I'm feeling like fake news. This is the thing. I know people don't like Trump. I understand that. But let me tell you something. If I had to pick between him and Joe Biden, I'm not voting in Joe Biden. You want to see a bunch of black people go to jail by the next 4 years? Put Joe Biden in president. Watch what happens. You want to see black men get killed substantially? Like you've never seen before? Put Joe Biden in and watch what happens. These Democrats, and I'm sorry to say this, I'm not trying to be racist, but they hate black people. These are the same people who fought to keep slavery in. These are the same people who built the KKK. These are the same people who hated us from the beginning. The Republican Party is the party of the blacks. Blacks free, the Republican Party is the only party that the black people actually assisted in finding. But all of that history has been torn away. People say, oh, there was this big switch. There was never a big switch. The Union won because we had grown in the industrial era. So we were able to get trains and get supplies back to our soldiers while the Confederate was still riding horses. They were not able to get the supplies back fast enough, right? So what happened was once slavery was abolished in the South, the people in the South could no longer make their money from slaves. They had to move to the North to work in the industry to produce. And so the people in the North that already had established themselves in the industry moved to the South. And so that's where it was a transfer of people coming from the South to the North and people coming from the North to the South. There was never a big switch. So the same Democrats who hated black people from the beginning are the same ones who hate us now. And they use our cause. How did Black Lives Matter turn into something about LGBTQ? When blacks really don't support that. We're conservative. We're really not about that. Not only that, we don't support abortion. We're about working. This is the black culture. We ain't never been about that. Not only that, we're not about feminism. No, we're not. Black women marry their husbands and respect their husbands. That's what we on. We're not on this, I do what I want. We don't do that. That's not our community, and you would understand. I know you understand what I'm saying. We don't do that. But yet these people are hijacking our movement, the Democratic Party, they're trying to hijack our stuff. No.
It wasn't Kanye West that put the White Lives Matter t-shirt on first. You did. You did by intentionally ignoring what Black Lives Matter would actually mean if it was applied.
And it's people like this that are exactly the reason why I say what I say in the way that I say it. I'm about to ether your shit. Now rewind. Let's run this shit back point by point.
It wasn't Kanye West that put the White Lives Matter t-shirt on first. You did. You did by intentionally ignoring what Black Lives Matter would actually mean if it was applied.
The simultaneous gall and irony of somebody who's on a network that is literally funded by fossil fuel billionaires to push a conservative worldview telling us that we deliberately ignore what BLM would mean is fucking crazy to me. 2, the simultaneous gall and irony of you telling the black community, look what you made me do, when both you and Kanye West are incredibly wealthy and could be educated on these topics if you gave a fuck, is crazy to me. 3, the fact that you don't fucking realize that you saying black people are ignoring the issues in the community, thus you had to put on the White Lives Matter shirt, is implicitly suggesting that White Lives Matter is antithetical to Black Lives Matter, is fucking crazy to me. Meaning the whole shit about ALM and, oh, don't forget about white people because we go through shit too, was literally just all bullshit. shit according to your logic? Don't you have some media training? How did y'all watch that footage back and not realize that you just contradicted the fuck out of yourself? And we'll get to the discussion about what Black Lives Matter would actually mean in a minute after I let you get up real quick.
It would mean taking a look at the real problem that is happening, which is our culture, a celebration of perversity pitched to us as if it's diversity. It's not. It is not diversity that we are celebrating. It is perversity.
You said the same thing twice, and both times it meant less than nothing. One, where does culture come from, Candace? Tell me where. If you're trying to make the argument that black people are just genetically predisposed to have a bad culture, please do, and you'll get blown the fuck out of the water. But if I'm going to be charitable to you and assume you're not making that argument, you have to acknowledge that culture comes from environment. And I wonder if there's a connection between the environment in which black people in America were placed in and the outcomes in their culture and socioeconomic status. See, the difference with me is I don't just say shit, I back it up. Here's a study on racism and the effects of the mental health of black people, reviewing the evidence that points to a myriad of ways that racism can have a negative impact on black people. Oh, but it gets worse for you. Let's run back what you just showed in your video.
It would mean taking a look at the real problem that is happening, which is our culture.
Please tell me how the fuck a BLM protest is the real problem happening in the black community. And then you showed Cardi B as if to say that hip-hop and the culture around that is the actual problem in the black community. And now I'm about to show you fundamentally why that's fucking stupid. This goes for anyone out there who believes this too. Here's a study on gang violence in LA, significantly linking proportion of employment and per capita income to gang-related activity. Or we can look at socioeconomic status as a fundamental cause of street criminality. And the studies can keep coming because this is not up for fucking debate. The very basis of some of these rap songs that you guys love to talk about are coming from the environment in which black people were placed in and their socioeconomic status. Rap in itself did not stem from the happy-go-lucky circumstances of black people in America. So telling rappers to shut up about their experiences still does not fix the fucking system. And before you say black fatherlessness, take a gander at where they're going. Blaming an outcome for the wrong of a system is as stupid as blaming dishes for not being washed properly and not the dishwasher. And this deliberately shitty line of argumentation you love to engage in stems from the tendency of racist people to view black people as more violent and their culture as problematic. So let me make something abundantly clear. You do not care about these issues. If you did, I'm looking forward to your peer-reviewed response to the evidence. If not, keep tap dancing.